The author Terry Goodkind wrote, "Only those you trust can betray you." And this alone pretty much sums up what stings so bad about the act of betrayal. It comes from those we trust and those we let into our lives, and it happens when we least expect it. Betrayal is not an easy thing to handle for anybody, even a Sigma. That being said, there's a lot to be learned from how a Sigma does handle betrayal when it occurs. Welcome back to another episode of Notes from a Sigma Male. In today's episode, I want to take a deep dive into the complex world of betrayal and how a Sigma male handles this disturbing experience. Listen carefully, as understanding the Sigma approach will make handling future betrayals a lot easier. The unlikely event. The thing about betrayal is, it can only occur when we trust someone. Betrayal comes from our friends, not our enemies. And yet Sigma males are known as being the lone wolves of society, so how does this affect the way a Sigma experiences betrayal? Well, whereas the other male types in the sociosexual hierarchy of dominance all rely on their relationship to others in order to determine their social role, the Sigma operates outside of this. The Alpha needs those below him to respect his authority and comply with what he says. A Beta, on the other hand, needs Alpha figures around him to provide examples and instruction on how to behave in a given setting. But in contrast to this, Sigmas walk outside of these lines. They don't maintain their social relationships in order to fulfill their own identity. On the surface, this gives many people the false impression that Sigmas have to be total loners or are men who are either incapable of or simply don't enjoy any social interaction, but this is a complete misconception. In many ways, the fact that a Sigma male doesn't need to harness his interactions with others in order to fulfill his own identity is incredibly freeing and actually aids his social life. Sigmas are free to surround themselves with people they genuinely like, with no regard for how that reflects back on them or affects their uninhibited ability to make genuine social connections based on very sincere personal criteria. For this very reason, and not for the supposed loner status of the Sigma, Sigmas rarely experience betrayal in the first place. They are slow to let others into their inner circle and don't often share their inner feelings or rely on others to get what they need. Their self-sufficiency means that when they do choose to open up, they are only doing so because they feel genuinely confident and comfortable with the person they're connecting with. Building friendships and relationships on such sincere foundations of trust makes it far less likely that these people will ever turn around and betray the Sigma. And yet, on the rare occasion, life is complicated, and no matter how carefully we curate those we hold close to us, some degree of betrayal is pretty much an inevitable fact of life at one point or another. The ancient Chinese philosopher Confucius once said, "It's more shameful to distrust our friends than to be deceived by them." This is precisely the attitude the Sigma holds when it comes to handling the prospect of betrayal. We all need to trust others in life at some point, and it is better to carefully select those we trust and open up to, and to trust them fully, rather than live our lives secretly suspecting our friends of imminent betrayal. To distrust our friends only reflects back poorly on our choice of friends that we've made. It says more about our lack of confidence in our own judgment of other people's character than it likely says about their character itself. Sigmas enjoy their lives with a cool, collected confidence that arises from the fact that they are sure of their decisions, and even if a betrayal is, to some degree, inevitable at one point or another, Sigmas don't live their lives in fear of such moments. Instead, when a betrayal does occur, they keep a calm head and handle the situation with a problem-solving and level-headed approach, which looks like taking a step back from the situation. Feeling betrayed by someone close to you is one of the most shocking, upsetting, and aggravating experiences a person can go through. As a species, some of our most unpredictable and even violent reactions are those that occur on account of being betrayed by someone we trusted. This is because betrayal plugs directly into the parts of our mind that process emotional distress. Sigmas are not prone to letting this emotional side of their brain take over their reactions. Instead of reacting to betrayal with emotional impulsivity, Sigmas immediately take a step back from the situation at hand to make sure that they're able to process clearly and resist jumping to conclusions and acting in a way that they might later regret. Thinking rationally. Sigmas are highly intelligent and rationally minded individuals. When a difficult situation such as the betrayal of a friend, colleague, or loved one occurs, they handle the situation with rationality. In order to understand the extent of the betrayal, Sigmas understand that they need all the facts. They need to prioritize clear communication and assess the true nature of the situation before doing anything they might regret. All too often, when we experience betrayal, we let the heat of the moment get to us and throw all rationality out of the window. And it's moments like these that we often find ourselves saying or doing things that we can never take back, even if we really wish we could. Like with everything in life, a Sigma always thinks before he acts. Assessing his own judgments. Sigmas prioritize growth above just about everything else in life. A key step in creating any kind of inner growth and change in one's life is being able to take a good, honest look at yourself. If we can't look at our own behavior with honesty and with clarity, then we are doomed to live in ignorance forever. Sigmas understand this better than just about anybody, and when they experience betrayal, they're not afraid to own up to their own role in the situation. They don't try to sugarcoat their own behavior or deny responsibility for their actions. In fact, they should relish the opportunity to take a good hard look at themselves, as that paves the pathway for learning from mistakes. Sigmas are highly passionate about learning from their own mistakes as they go throughout life. The honest look that they take at their own behavior allows them to see where their judgments or actions in the past may have been misguided. It's only through acknowledging these mistakes that a Sigma can learn from his mistakes and adjust his behavior in order to not fall prey to the same betrayal again. As the saying goes, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. Don't be afraid to cut out traitors. As the trust of a Sigma is so precious and difficult to earn, once it's broken, it's often broken for good. Sigmas aren't generally the type to give people second chances. They like to move forward and don't want to get caught in this cycle of forgiveness and betrayal. And if somebody shows their true stripes to a Sigma and he doesn't like what he sees, he will most likely cut them out of his life with little heartache. Now, let me just take a moment to say that if you're enjoying this video so far, please do take a second to head down and hit the like button. It really helps me out in growing the channel and it shows me the kind of videos that you guys like to see. Thank you so much, guys. I really appreciate it. Now back to the video. And next, I want to talk about the most important aspect of how a Sigma male handles betrayal. Moving on. Betrayal breaks our trust. It's a form of trauma. And the thing about trauma is that it freezes a part of us in that moment of trauma. Getting over the trauma of betrayal is far from easy, but in the end, we need to move on if we're ever going to reclaim ourselves from the trust issues that are created by betrayal. Sigmas are experts in stopping, reflecting, learning, and ultimately letting go. Learning a lesson from betrayal is the best they can make of a bad situation. And once that lesson's been learned, there's no point of harboring pain and holding on to resentment. To do so only poisons our thoughts and feelings moving forward. A true Sigma should move onward with his life and leave the pain of betrayal where it belongs, in the past. So what about you guys? I'm sure some of you have experienced betrayal. Maybe from a friend, a colleague, or even a partner. How did you feel and how did you handle the situation? I'd be really interested to see you share your experiences down in the comment section. And as always, thanks so much for tuning in to today's Notes from a Sigma Male. I hope you guys enjoyed it and I hope you learned something. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell, and feel free to check out the rest of the channel for a ton of Sigma Male content. And I'll see you next time.